Yes, sir. We are live, ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs. Welcome to Beacon Total Value Locked TVL. New format here for our Wednesday call, still at 1 p.m. Eastern time. You got Chris, you got Andrew. Andrew actually is,
Hey,
we're actually 1 week away from the main event at ETHDenver. Andrew is already there, getting ready for the hackathon. That's going to be when does the hackathon start, Andrew? Do you know?
yeah. So the hackers will be reporting for the first time on Friday. I'm just double checking the calendar because I'm pretty sure on that, but the last 24 hours has been a little bit of a blur. But yeah. So essentially, I arrived here in Denver 2 days before everything starts.
Exciting times, exciting times. Just to kind of roll through the schedule a little bit so people understand what happens at ETHDenver. There's this whole hackathon, this Buildathon. Biddle is a play on the word build that you find here in Web3, and basically teams come together from all around the world because there's up to $1 million at stake in terms of bounties, and essentially there are different tracks that teams are going to form together within the next 2 days or on Friday, looking for members to help build projects based on these following tracks: infrastructure, identity, DeFi, NFTs and gaming, DAOs and communities, impact, and public goods. 5 tracks that were pretty big last year. I think we're going to see more of that this year. I would like to think that there's actually a couple more tracks than that, but there will be specific bounties from different bounty sponsors looking for specific types of projects. So, uh, you know, really awesome hackathon. Any thoughts, Andrew? But as we walk into this next portion,
Oh man, there are a couple of things that just jump out, which is just some immediate different feelings about how this, at least from the hackathon perspective, looks different than the event was last year. Number one, I could be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure they were advertising over $250,000 worth of
ooh,
worth of bounties last year, and now they're advertising over 4 times that amount. Now I know we've had a lot of inflation, right? But I don't think it accounts for that much of an increase. It must be something else going on, that folks are investing more in development. I also noticed that in the hackathon registration process, there is a real something. Once again, it could have been there last year. I wasn't paying as much attention to this piece of it, but it really jumped out to me that they are really working to recruit students to the hackathon. And they've got university-specific leaderboards, university-specific referrals. They've been, potentially awarding some stipends to students for travel here. So it's just really exciting, just from a growth perspective, because this is a huge event every year. And I think it's going to be even bigger and have even more talent and excitement than last time.
completely agree. So I wanted to I have the map up here for anybody who's curious about how big this is going to be, and this is roughly about the same size as it was last year. Um, so this is the main building that most people come into. This is the pavilion. This is normally a venue that's used for agricultural expos and things like that. So it does smell like uh, animals when you walk in there at all levels.
You mean
There's
Beast
multiple.
Girl? Talking about the
Yes,
cows and the bulls? Yeah.
yes, and there's three levels to this building. There's two here, and specifically they have their own little beanbag city. So uh, it's interesting, and it's an interesting experience if you are an actual developer. They actually have like showers and massage places, Reiki, yoga, all of that available to anybody because it's open 24/7. By the way, this whole operation is open 24/7 for the next 2 weeks. You are welcome to come and go. You of course have to have an admission ticket to come in, but yeah, for anybody who's going to be joining us in Denver, awesome. If this is your first crypto experience, you're going to have such a great time. All of our members had a fantastic time last year. I look forward to meeting all of you while you're there. I'm personally excited for not only the side events, but also just to see the innovation of what the builders are going to be building. Um, Ultimately, we saw some really great projects. Every year, public goods seems to be a bigger and bigger deal. The unbanked, the underserved. I think we're going to see even more of that this year. I look forward to myself and Andrew will be doing ad hoc updates, to both of our communities to show you guys exactly what the experience is going to be like. So, yeah. Any closing thoughts before we move on to the next topic, Andrew?
You know, it really looks like aside from what I mentioned before, it looks like they've really done a lot of work this time, the event organizers, to have more stable internet because the switches were just overwhelmed. I don't know if it was even a bandwidth issue last year, but the switches were just overwhelmed with the number of devices connected. Um, and also it looks like they're better integrating the hackathon space and also like making folks more want to stay and build in a space. One of the big issues that kind of like killed the vibes a little bit, I think, with the hackathon last year was that because of internet issues and other logistical issues, folks were having to go biddle off site. So I think it's really cool for just a sharing of ideas and building new things to be able to have more people in a space together for longer. So it's just the only thing holding back my enthusiasm is the flight I was just on. So, I'm just really, really, really excited for this because I know I'm going to learn some really useful things this time.
Yeah, and good luck to everybody who's on their flights on their way to Denver. We have people coming from all around the world to meet us in Denver for ETHDenver. We have people from Australia, from England, uh, from multiple countries coming. So be safe on your flights, and I'm excited to see you guys when we see you next Wednesday at the Beacon House to get the thing started. So we also talked about a little bit of a change in format. So we're going to talk, of course, about the news and the topics, but then we're also going to talk about some alpha that we're seeing in our flywheel. We're actually going to go through some different things each week, and then we have a new segment at the end we're calling Call for Help. So if you have any questions, anything that is like kind of stumping you, you're looking to find some expert help with that. We're going to have a full segment on that. I could actually foresee a whole show of us doing stuff like that. So if you want to get support from us, tap the experts here in the group. Feel free to reach out with your issues. So let's go ahead and move on to the other thing I want to talk about, which is our brand new free group. It's called TVL, launched yesterday evening. It's on the school platform. We also still have Beat the Banks, and we're going to be merging everything here into this new platform. It really just kind of serves everything we're looking for, and we're really excited here. We already have quite a few members in the door, and basically we have a full community forum, and then I'm clicking on the wrong window. We have the community forum. We also have a full set of courses with stuff that can be unlocked based on engagement, along with guides. All of our recordings that we're doing for our Friday trainings are going to be here as well as really awesome takes, especially from Andrew with his mastering on-chain rotation stuff. There's also a calendar here for anybody who's interested. So just a real quick tour of the TVL platform. Excited to have you all here. There will be multiple people coming to this platform for multiple things, and that's where kind of the name comes from. TVL stands for Total Value Lock, kind of a little cheeky reference to what's going on there. So we're looking to have as much locked value in this platform. So again, if you are out there you've been a member of our free group Beat the Banks, we'd love to see a TVL. So go ahead and sign up. I'll put the little ticker here at the bottom. So if you need a link, there you go. Andrew, any thoughts on TVL before we move forward to the news and discussion topics for today?
I really, really like the School platform. I think they've done an amazing job with it. You know, when we were launching, letting the folks in that were in the queue, have been waiting patiently for the launch. Um, and people started typing comments. You know, we were actually able to see that people were typing on the posts or making posts before they submitted it. And I just thought that was so cool, and it felt like much more connected than some other platforms we've used before for groups like this. So I'm really excited for what we have in store on that platform in that free community. Um, and I think it's also like topical to have a point system. And you know, we've talked about the points in the airdrop narrative before. And I'm really excited about, you know, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about having a point system that can be used for various things.
Rewards and all kinds of interesting things we could give away based on how much you interact with the community. Interesting concept, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. It's a great incentive for bringing value to the community. Um, so that if you are willing to give and share your thoughts and offer feedback and share things that you've learned in other places with the group is going to automatically reward you. And then we might come along and give you some extra rewards as well.
Love it. Love it. And again, we just launched yesterday. Have a bunch of people already coming in. Looking forward to seeing more of you there. What I wanted to talk about this week to start off the news, I think a lot of people have noticed is that we touched 3K yesterday for Ethereum. Uh, what a moment to be back in this territory. It wasn't that long ago when we were in a situation where ETH was getting stink bids at 750 to $1,000, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do if we went to Goblin Town. Uh, Quite a bit away from that spot. So congrats to everybody who's been DCAing and holding since then. Obviously, if you DCA, price is not really an issue, but obviously your cost basis back then would have been much lower than it is now. So seemingly a lot of information coming out, ETF news happening in terms of when an ETH ETF might be approved. I don't have Gabe on the call today to kind of give his thoughts on that, but ultimately there's a lot of just influx of attention coming in off the BTC ETF, specifically in other countries where crypto asset futures are possibly going to be a new thing, specifically like in places like Hong Kong. If the Asian market wakes up with their own versions of these could be we could be definitely seeing some very quick movers. Andrew, any thoughts on on inflows helping BTC cross 52? Obviously, other off the back of that for Ethereum, touching 3K, and of course we've had some resistance since then. But to see ETH this high again is since was it summer of 2022 is a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like just remember how the market collapsed last cycle, and that has all been wiped out essentially. That's all been reversed. Um, it's it's very easy for me to think about what the price was or what prices were last time I was here in Denver, basically exactly a year ago. Um, and there was a little bit of an ETHDenver curse. It was something that folks were joking about, how usually the price of ETH would go down a bit more during the conference. So I'm not super happy to see, a little bit of a dip here. Don't really want to see the ETHDenver curse coming true. But that said, things have been very hot. Things have been extremely hot. Um, Markets are never up only, even bull markets. And it is insane to me that we have gone so fast from speculating on the possibility of a BTC ETF to having that be a reality. BTC is practically just like 10K off from all-time highs. And now we're talking about an ETH ETF. and some real big names. You know, people that get the things that they file for have filed for these ETH ETFs. Um, and retail isn't even here yet. Like folks that are not already invested and paying attention, for the most part, it does not look like they are even paying attention yet. So this is a very, very exciting time. Um, and I I don't feel like that can be overstated, like just how exciting this is. If you go back 4, 5, 10 years, this was the future that we were dreaming of back then.
It's true.
And I mean, the next 5, 10 years, next 2 years, the next year, it's shaping up to be a wild ride.
Yeah, and ultimately, I do want to let, if anyone from the general public that doesn't understand much about crypto investing is watching this, we're very curious to see, with all of the new inflows that are coming in, like I think VanEx ETF went up 1,800% in this past week. Just a lot of interest coming in. There's going to be mostly institutional interest, and that's pretty much what this has been for the last month. Uh, if you are a retail investor and you're curious about getting into crypto, now's the time to do it. Get here before all the institutions take over, putting controls and do all the silly stuff that they think that they want to do that won't happen. But essentially, you can have a piece of this pie as well. So what an exciting time. Excited to see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Speaking of things that are going to happen in the next couple of weeks, Circle is actually ceasing minting USDC, native USDC, on Tron, the blockchain Tron from Justin Sun, immediately. They're discontinuing minting USDC. It looks like you can just bridge off through one of their facilities. I think there's a little bit of politics at play here, Andrew, because Circle recently went public. Justin Sun and Tron, they're well known for being a haven for USDT, which is Tether. A ton of USDT is parked on Tether. On Tron rather. So whether it be, regulatory type of fodder looking to, make sure that their hands are fairly clean by not being, anywhere near Tether. What do you think? Stablecoin regulation on the horizon. Do you think this is maybe a play based on something like that? Putting on your political hat.
So your question is like, why do I think Circle may be doing this?
Sure. Hey, just a take.
You know, it could just be that they don't get along with Justin Sun. It could be it's probably compliance concerns, honestly. It's probably
Yeah.
compliance concerns. I don't know when Circle and Coinbase are going to just stop trying to appease the government. I don't think I'm not sure how that's going to play out for them, but I'm not. I think like the thing that I can actually think about and what's actually potentially actionable to me is to look and see how this is actually impacting, if at all, TVL. And we can look and we can just see like if on this news TVL on Tron has gone down. But my instinct is that it will probably take a little bit more time to see if there's actually capital moving due to this. And looking at the TVL chart right now, like the answer is no. The TVL on Tron has not gone down. So yeah, I'm not sure that anyone really cares. I'm not sure if USDC was. I don't think it was even a big player on Tron. And I don't really pay attention to Tron, but yeah, like Tron is the USDT place, not the USDC place for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I do think that, them going public, regulatory frameworks, compliance, I think they're just trying to keep their nose clean with stuff like this as there's definitely going to be some stable coin regulation, not only in the US, but around the world. It's not on the agenda, but the UK is looking to accelerate getting uh, stablecoin regulation up within the next 6 months. So there are governments that are interested in trying to regulate stablecoins, at least for citizens in their jurisdiction. So, interesting to see what's going to happen here. Um, yeah, curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, so it looks like we're looking at around 300 million USD on Tron.
That's actually a decent amount.
Um, yeah, I mean it's a decent amount, but Tron is an $8 billion chain.
Yeah, yeah. And most of that comes from,
So this is still yeah.
yeah, most of it comes
Yeah,
from
this
Tether. So,
I kind of would put this in the it's interesting. It's interesting. It's not monumental.
yeah, but it is interesting to see that they're making such a bold statement about it. Like, we are discontinuing it off Tron. And I know some people are like, okay, I didn't even know you were on Tron. But at the same time, it's like they're distancing themselves. So that's interesting. Another interesting
Yeah, I
project,
think
Andrew. I
another
wanted Go
thing.
ahead.
I think Coinbase is trying to get in the news more right now because they're trying to drag that retail interest in. So I think that's a factor. I got ads for Coinbase for the first time in a long time. I think I was checking my Instagram feed, had a Coinbase ad. Um, there's that Coinbase earnings NFT opportunity, right? Um, so I think they may also just be being more bold with their marketing. And honestly, if this is a nothing burger, I could see the reason them talking about it is literally just to have their name in the news.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. What you're also right about is that more people need to like this stream. So please, everybody who's here, everybody who's watching, click that like button. Feel free to subscribe. Also, click the bell icon if you want to get notifications every time we go live, which is currently right now every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So, we had a project launch. We've had a couple project launches this week, but one very interesting one, Andrew, is from someone we do watch quite a bit, and that's Arthur Hayes. His Ethena protocol went live this week. It's been in beta for quite some time. Almost 300 million came in the first couple days since it's been open, mainly because of this. So this is their synthetic dollar USDE, and they're offering 27% on this. This is on mainnet only, just so you all know. I think there may be some talk about moving it down to Arbitrum at some point, but they certainly have some interesting backers here with people such as Michael Egoroff from Curve. They have Aave, Frax, Andrew Kang, Black Noise, Kobe. Interesting. Didn't realize that. Um, Along with some more larger VCs. Arthur Hayes' VC is Dragonfly Capital, but and then I guess they're backed by Binance and OKX. So um, it's a very interesting mechanism. Basically, you mint USDE via multiple forms of collateral. They accept Curve USD, USDT, Frax, DAI, and MKUSD, which is from, I believe, Prisma. But interestingly enough, they don't take USDC as collateral. But that's probably a regulatory thing. Who knows? But what they do is the mechanism is based. They mimic a cash and carry trade. So basically, they're taking the funds to stake ETH and validators, and then shorting ETH futures to get the rest of the yield. They're actually telling you how they're getting the yield. Because normally when we ask, if you don't know where the yield comes from, the yield comes from you. So interesting idea here. There's been a little bit of pushback on this yield. So basically, you mint your USDE and then you stake it into their vault to get this rate, which is a great rate for a stablecoin. It is a little interesting. It's got a bit of a floating peg, even though the value's pegged to $1. The peg, I believe, is based on ETH that's floating in the system. So a little bit algorithmic, so a little bit interesting. But knowing Arthur Hayes, he has thought this through and through. And this is a bit of a speculative gamble. So if you're looking to check this out, it is on mainnet. The issue that people have is the sustainability of this 27% APY. It's on a rolling 7-day basis. So, ultimately it's going to go up and down. But for now, yeah, it's an interesting
Yeah, so where's
mechanism,
the
right?
yield coming from? Do you know where the yield's coming from, Chris?
Yeah, the yield comes from ETH staking and also from shorting ETH futures. So it's a bit of a cash and carry, a bit of a hedge with the way that it works. It's not necessarily a delta neutral type of farm, but it's a little on the hedgy side. So, essentially, so here, like I said, stake to the validator, earn 5% of the capital, and then they short futures with to capture the funding rate, and they're using modeling to say it's roughly about, again, the sustainability of this model. We're going to have to wait and see, but it's an interesting one. And Arthur is a very interesting mind. Arthur Hayes. Don't mean to call him by his
Yeah.
first name.
Yeah, this is really interesting because this has been talked about for a long time.
Yeah, you like projects like this.
No, this is important because what is important is having stable coins that are not backed by dollars in a bank account.
Correct.
Because dollars in a bank account, ultimately, this is a risk. This is a risk to crypto, to DeFi from the traditional finance systems. And the issue has been that we have some great solutions for doing this, but they're not super capital efficient, right? So you can use DAI, you can use other, CDP, collateralized debt position stablecoins that are backed by assets on chain, but represents $1 each. But you have to over collateralize it, right? And that means you're going to be having to lock up a bunch of Ether, a bunch of Bitcoin that isn't going to be doing anything because it's just in a vault, being the backing for these stable coins. So it's kind of to me it's a fine balance. Like, we need more capital efficient solutions that are also not tied to actual dollars in a bank account. But we also we don't need stable coins that are backed by nothing except, trust me, bro, it's worth $1. So if we can not have it be that, but have it be more capital efficient, have it be entirely on chain. I don't know if this is even entirely on chain yet, depending on how they're shorting those ETH futures. But that is much easier or it's actually possible to have that fully on chain, while dollars in a bank account can never be fully on chain.
Interesting statement from their team. Their modeling has determined that 20 million per 1 billion of USDE would help survive almost all bearish forecasts of funding rates, because obviously market going up or just more negative funding rates, that's what they're looking for. They're hoping for this type of movement with regards to where we're going. So I think the timing of launching, because Ethena has been in beta forever. If anybody, we've talked about this project a long time ago on the roundtable. So the launch timing here is very on message with what they're looking to do. So I'm definitely following this very closely, and so is most of our mastermind members. So Very curious to see where this goes. But good luck to anyone who is in Ethena. I know CJ is in Ethena very much so, and looking to see how this plays out over the next couple months, specifically with timing on, global macro, ETH price action, and where we go from here. Speaking of where we go from here, moving on to Solana, they are taking a snapshot today. In fact, in about 30 minutes. So for anybody who happened to pre-order the next Solana phone, the Saga, you most likely will qualify for a ton of airdrops. The device doesn't drop until 2025. And I say the device because I've seen rumors that this isn't actually a phone. It's going to be an actual AI mobile device, which will be an interesting move from them. But the original phone, which sold for, I think it was like,
What's that? Is that like a
$1,000.
internet communications device?
That is exactly what it is, Steve Jobs. That's it. So that for anyone who, I recognize that most people, actually everyone in our audience gets the idea, but anyone who's using this, anyone who's new that are, not born around 2007 may not understand that, because I think Jangle was 1 year old when the iPhone came out. But that's a nod back to the keynote back in 2007 for the iPhone. But yeah, so we have multiple
What I'm
members
trying
in
to
our
say is
mastermind buy this phone.
a phone.
It is, but
It's a phone.
we've had multiple people grab this just for the ability to flip it. The first phone, people were flipping it because if you bought it for $599, you got $550 in bonk and some other coins and additional airdrops. I think you got a Jupe airdrop based off of it too. So, I mean, it definitely paid for itself. The phones were flipping for $5,000 on eBay. So I don't know if you're going to get this type of flippability, but we have multiple people in our group at least that went and got one. So it's $450 for the pre-order. If you want to get it, we talked about this 3 or 4 weeks ago on this show. So they're taking a snapshot today. So go and get one if you want one. Yeah, the airdrop meta continues, I suppose, specifically with Solana. But do you foresee yourself getting one, Andrew?
I'd have to go buy it right now.
Yeah, $450. You got 30 minutes to get a founder's edition. But I will say MKBHD, he did look at the original and he roasted it, but he doesn't understand how it works.
So Chris, do you think this is plus EV? Do you think if I go spend $450 on this phone, that I am going to get airdrops and rewards that more than offset that $450?
Most likely, sir, yes.
All right, send me that link, sir. I'll buy it before the end of the call.
I put it in the chat, solanamobile.com/2. But,
All right.
I really like not financial advice, by the way. Don't go out and buy one if you're taking a shot in the dark. But a lot of time is going to pass before. I mean, they may get your information and you may KYC with a wallet or something, and they make it happen. But I support devices like this because we do need more Web3 native mobile devices out there. The first Saga it was just very vanilla in terms of its specs. It was okay. They had Web3 built in. They had Magic Eden built in. Quite a few Solana protocols and Phantom were built into the phone. So that part is pretty cool. So I'm guessing this next device will have a myriad of different options that you can use Web3 based services on, as well as they had a Web3 based app store, which, I think is pretty cool. So there is that. Being able to pay with your phone with on-chain funds, baked in automatically, good for normies. So, we'll see. We shall see. One thing I did want to talk about, and apparently I did not put it here in the window, so let me get it right now. Ooh. 1 second while I get
So I
that.
just want to check, Chris. You already bought one, right?
No, no, my wife would kill me if I got more mobile devices. I have so many mobile devices on my network. So
Oh boy.
I'm just keeping it real,
So you're
Andrew. I would love to. I would love
okay.
to, but if my wife sees that pop in the on the parcel, she'll be wondering what I'm doing here. So,
Just send it to the PO box.
oh, I should do that, shouldn't I? Hmm. All right, maybe we need we need
I'm,
to end this call early then. I'm kidding.
I'm joking. I'm joking around. I'm not trying to get you divorced, Chris.
I'm gonna make more money off my Camino farming, not this phone. So we'll see what goes. We'll see what happens. One thing we
Wait, so
talked
should I
about,
get the
Andrew.
phone or not, Chris? Like you phone pilled me. You Solana pilled me. You Cosmos pilled me. I
We don't even know if it's a phone, Andrew. So this could be the ultimate AI mobile device. And I know how much you love AI.
It's a phone.
It's an internet communication device.
Exactly.
Exactly. So we talked about this probably like 5-6 months ago. Trader Joe's. For any of you who are not in the United States, this is a well loved grocery chain. They're owned by the multinational conglomerate called Aldi. Um, they're known for having they're known for having pretty well priced organic produce uh, that doesn't last too terribly long. So just be aware of that. If you ever buy produce from there, eat it within a week. But they do have great white label products from multiple cultures. And it's really an overall nice experience. They're a wonderful place to work for if you're looking for a place to work. But they decided to sue and put a cease and desist against Trader Joe, the Dex on Avalanche. Uh, they they said that Trader Joe, look at this man. Look at Trader Joe. They said that Trader Joe degraded the wholesome and high quality brand of Trader Joe's the grocery store. Man, I know that not everybody loves the Cordy book, but that is just harsh. Hmm. That's only a joke I'm gonna laugh at. So anyway. Um,
I mean, you know, liquidity book has at least lasted longer than Trader Joe's vegetables. Yeah,
that's true.
okay.
That is true, sir. That is true. What I will say is, just to wrap it up, the lawsuit hearing has concluded. The judge has actually sided with Trader Joe the Dex. Uh, so there's no relief
Another win
with
for DeFi.
regards to a claim. It's a win for DeFi, basically. So what this means is because of these the decentralized nature of DeFi and the operators of the protocol being everywhere around the world, there's like no literal jurisdiction as to where they could actually apply the claim in terms of a, you know, on what state, I mean, what location would you like to, to do this? So ultimately, most users of Trader Joe that are outside the United States have no idea what the grocery chain is, and vice versa. I tried walking around Trader Joe's and asking, "How do you feel about the Dex taking your name?" Nobody knew what I was talking about. And these are workers, these
Did
are
you
customers.
did you actually do this, Chris?
No, but I wish I did in my head. That would have been
Oh
hilarious.
my gosh. Oh
I
my
should
gosh.
do that. I should do that. Let me go grab I'll grab my phone. I'll get the lavalier mics. We'll go talking about, I'm just going to go up to average workers. I'm like, first of all, I'm happy that you've restocked the strawberry banana yogurts my kids love, but how do you feel about Trader Joe the Dex infringing on your copyright? And just kind of see what they say.
You totally had me going here. Type one in chat if you think that if you thought that Chris actually um, had done this.
I should do that though. I think that would be fantastic. Because so this actually has an interesting precedent. So if you look at a lot of NFT, like PFP, profile picture NFT collections, there's a lot of branding that they steal. Like Pudgy Penguins has like McDonald's on hats and stuff like that. You know, obviously there's the whole Chad demographic where, you know, if you make the wrong move, it's fine because you work at McDonald's type deal. And they have this on, you know, they have uniforms. It's all over DeFi with some of these NFT collections. So the judge siding with DeFi against this really sets a precedent that there's really no point in going after some of these protocols that are doing things like this. Not that Trader Joe took anything from Trader Joe's, to be quite honest. You know, they claim, you know, to their credit, they claim that, you know, wholesome Trader Joe here, you know, Joe with the cap, is related to someone's brother. Take that for what you will. How do you explain Mo? Joe and Mo? Who names their kids Joe and Mo? I'm sure there are plenty of people do. No disrespect to those people.
Yeah, that's probably actually a thing, Chris.
Yeah, I know. So it made me think about this, Andrew. I was like, so I could go and open a decentralized exchange right now called World Market. Or even better, I could go and open a yield optimizing protocol for Trader Joe liquidity book pools. I'm going to call it TJ Maxx. Just 1x though.
Man, you're coming on strong with the dad joke.
The dad jokes are terrible. I claim the dad jokes. Yes. Yes, I am a boomer. I have boomer hands. I'm terrible at gaming. Anyway, let's move on to the alpha flywheel. By the way, if anybody's good at making bumpers, like video transition bumpers, let me know. Be happy to reward you if you could help us make some bumpers for TVL. A little stinger that comes across, whoosh. Alpha flywheel. Okay, so what's the alpha flywheel? Ultimately, the flywheel is exactly what you think it is. Interesting alpha or rumors we may hear from our network. None of this is financial advice, not tax advice either. By the way, it is tax season, and taxes are going to suck this year for all US taxpayers if you do crypto. I'm very sorry about that, but this isn't advice for that either. Starting off with something I saw today. Many people in our group were rewarded with the Dymension airdrop from Dymension, whatever you want to call it. There is a rumor based on a GitHub update that they're taking a snapshot on Friday. For what? I don't know. Some type of potential other airdrops. And again, Dymension is actually supposed to be an ecosystem, Cosmos and EVM based, of multiple roll apps, which are going to be layer 2 or layer 3 decentralized apps that'll be on top of this using their whole system. So obviously a lot of us got a really good drop. Most of us are holding and staking just to be sure. How much you should stake? I don't know. I'm doing 175 in 2 wallets. So up to you. Not financial advice. So Andrew, what are you doing with your dim staking?
I pretty much just been doing what you've been telling me to on this one, Chris.
Okay, fair enough. So a little bit of a drop. So the reason why they've said this is basically based on literally one thing, and it's here in the comments. This 23 Feb 24 for historical entries into this staker snapshots repository. And this is on GitHub. If you're familiar with development on GitHub, it's a distributed source code platform. Accident? Or was this, you know, some type of clue for people to find? I'm one to think the latter. I don't think there's a whole lot of accidents here in DeFi that aren't exploits. So they know people are watching. I'm sure that, you know, this is not an accident at all. But interesting here. So if you're a dim staker, keep staking. There's possibly a snapshot coming on the 23rd or the 25th, according to this post. Sorry, Mr. Casper Vandalock. Other piece of alpha that we're going to talk about today is from Kelp DAO, liquid restaking ETH protocol. It looks like a lot of people are farming liquid restaking tokens in the EigenLayer ecosystem, hoping for an EigenLayer token airdrop at the end by farming these eigenlayer points on the protocol, and also through various, I think there's 12 different liquid staking narratives. Kelp DAO is an interesting DAO that does this specifically for staters ETH and a couple different other types of ETH that are out there. Now they're actually tokenizing their point system, which is in an interesting, wild way, a way to front run Eigenlayers token. So many people in our group, in our mastermind, are doing the Kelp DAO route because we've had some guides on that in our mastermind. So this is actually quite interesting. If they're going to tokenize Eigenlayers points farming through Kelp ahead of time. What do you think about this, Andrew?
It's definitely a bull market.
Right? That's the first thing I thought. We are so back. We are so back.
Wait, so they're launching a token based on the points for someone else's pre-launch token?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bit frothy right there. That's a little frothy.
A little frothy, right? It's a little wild in my personal opinion. I mean, do you forfeit your Eigenlayer points by doing this?
I don't know. Do you?
I don't know. I mean, again, this was posted yesterday. So I had heard about this in my network, and I was like, that can't be true. And then they posted this. I was like, oh, it is true. They're totally doing this. So
that means that the Kelp DAO guys, they are bullish on the Eigenlayer airdrop, and they want to buy your points from you.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Ooh, yeah, because this is technically liquid staking those points.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no. I don't know if I like that. Huh.
You know, I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting. I think it's creative. You know, ultimately, this is getting into the part of this process, which is very much do not buy the hype, make some money off the hype. So if you can make some money off the hype and someone's going to give you some free tokens that you can, sell for some tokens or some cash you actually like, that's amazing. Should you be just speculating on whether these tokens based on other tokens go up or down in value? Only if you have the time for that, and that's, with a high risk part of your portfolio.
Yeah, because these kept dollars could absolutely go straight to zero, and you're just, yeah, I would not like to think about the downside to this play. But yeah, so just a little bit of stuff from our network. What I did want to point out in this post, because this is going to be in the show notes, I want you guys to pay attention to this, and I'll talk about this on Friday during our training. You're going to see more and more actual institutions and any type of threader literally put one of these types of end thread images in their post now, because you see crap like this. Look at this. I'm clicking the wrong window. Look at this handle, not Kelp DAO, KCLQ DAO. They already have set up a site to try and get you for your points. Do not click on this link. Please do not click on this link. This is not real. But they're getting really, really good at trying to trap people. And again, this is in the comments. It's literally right after the do not click any link. It's from official handles type stuff. So I'm seeing this everywhere. Please, for your safety, assume that every link you see on social media is malicious, and triple check and verify it with the content creator before you move forward, because of stuff exactly like this, like literally posted within the hour after the end of this tweet. So please be careful out there. If you take nothing away from this alpha flywheel, take that, because that is very, very important.
Yeah, so like the fact is that airdrop hype has resulted in a lot of folks losing money because of the number of fake links and and the urgency surrounding it. Um, and this is like, you know, this is what your local police department in the United States would teach you, like about just being scammed, right? Is if there is urgency, if somebody calls you on the phone, is pretending to be someone you already know. This is like impersonation with urgency, right? It's a recipe. It's a recipe for folks getting scammed, and it is easy to avoid if you just don't click on links on Twitter. Just don't click on links for Twitter. That's not how you should be getting DeFi links. That's just not it. Don't do it.
Not it, Chief. Not a good look, man. So the other part of the flywheel, we're going to talk about, some strategies. Every call that I'm on, people are always asking, can you talk about farms? Well, obviously, if you want to do that, check out our Friday trainings. Obviously, we'll be advertising it on our school group every Friday, 3 p.m. Join me as we talk about things. But I will talk about two interesting narratives off the back of this, thanks to Kelp DAO, that are worth looking into. One of them is based on liquid restaking, the other is based on stablecoins. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this window. First thing we're going to talk about today is Pendle Finance. Now, this is on ETH mainnet. Let me hit down to Arbitrum. And a lot of people are going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for these fixed yield tokens. Now, they have two types of yield at Pendle Finance. This is an interest rate swap website. So they have an AMM based on interest rates and playing fixed yield off of potential yield. It's a very interesting mechanism. Not a lot of protocols in DeFi that do this. We do feature them quite a bit in our Beacon Farming Spotlight, which is going to be coming to our school group every Friday. A sample of what the mastermind group gets, every week. But essentially, they have this fixed yield token and these liquidity tokens, same pool, just with playing off the future yield, because this is based on interest rates and maturity. So it's all based on how long you can hold on to a position. But what's interesting is actually the market that we're starting to see open up for these fixed yield tokens. Meaning, if you want to go ahead and put on this position for this Kelp DAO RSETH token for 63 days, at the end of it, you will receive whatever the amount of ETH is at 40%. This is fixed for 63 days. So this is truly a set and forget position. So if you're looking for a fairly easy, good yield to get on ETH, again, this is liquid staked ETH, so it is a derivative, but still, it's still ETH. You can come to Pendle and do it either with RSETH, with EtherFi ETH. Lido staked ETH is obviously not nearly as good. These two are leading the pack in terms of liquid restaking. Yeah, just for fixed yield, can't beat that. So we will have, if you're looking to get, if you're looking for documentation or training on that, feel free to check out our school group for stuff like that. We already have stuff on how to get into positions like this. The other narrative I'm going to talk about is on Beefy Finance on the Base blockchain, which is from Coinbase. The stablecoin narrative is still super strong. And what I mean by that is anything above 20% is still a fairly fantastic rate. This is an auto-compounded position, meaning the protocol is going to take your rewards and build LP for you. I mean, I have to scroll down quite a bit to not find one that's less than 20 or, quite a bit lower than 20%. Even these this is a curve 4-asset stablecoin pool that we've talked about on our Beat the Banks trainings before. Now at 19.93%, that's still a great rate. So ultimately going all the way up to 50%. Yeah, 50% for my EUSD. And again, these are all stable coins that are on the Base blockchain. So if you're looking for, specific protocols to get into, here's two farms to look into, Pendle and Beefy. And yeah, that concludes this week's Alpha Flywheel. Any thoughts, Andrew, before we move on to call for help?
ETH rate's juicy off of restaking speculation.
I agree. What a time to be alive. We've been looking at
Stable
some.
yield's
Go
also
ahead.
juicy because no one wants stable coins. But if you want to, earn a little bit of yield on your cash equivalents, that's what you need slash want. Incredibly easy right now.
How wild is that? When you actually say the words that the reason why the rates are so good is because nobody wants stablecoins because they're all long on BTC and ETH. I mean, what a crazy change in the market, right? So
Yeah, I mean
yeah,
that's just the fact. Like when everybody's risk on, there are going to be higher yields and more risk off assets.
right, absolutely.
Like it's I mean it's that could be an over it's a little bit of an oversimplification, right? But that's like it's a tailwind slash headwind for those things, right? Like it's just
Hmm.
it's a major force in kind of the base situation. Like when just think about it this way: when are yields on stable coins going to be the lowest? When everyone's holding stable coins.
Exactly.
So yep, yep, that's it. It's beautifully simple if you think about it. Like it's literally just economics.
It's
It's
just
economics
economics.
plus competition.
Man, the value you guys are getting off today's call, nuts. So thanks for joining us today. Again, hit the like button. If this is your first time joining us, please join our free group at school.com/beacon. Happy to have you there. And of course, we have our beautiful mastermind for those who want to join where all the big league players go. Feel free to reach out there as well. We're going to move on to our last segment in this new format, which is called Call for Help. And essentially, Call for Help is us answering your questions. If you have a question to ask to us, the multi-year DeFi experts who live and breathe this stuff and teach this stuff all day long, we can help you work through your issues. Uh, Reach out to us. You can email us at support@beacondefi.xyz. You can leave a comment on this video. You can go to our school group and leave another comment there as well, whatever you want to do. I actually can see a whole show that I would host literally answer these questions. So let's get this ball rolling. So again, I want to thank Kathy for our first call for help question. And basically she's saying that she says, hello, I've been having an issue where I can't seem to figure out how to bridge native USDC from Osmosis, which is a Cosmos DEX app chain, back to any Ethereum virtual machine chain. Google keeps saying to send it to a CEX, but I'm not sure how to do that. How do I get my USDC off of Osmosis and back to Ethereum virtual machine blockchains? Well, first of all, I just want to say Google is wrong, 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 wrong. Don't send it to a CEX. I mean, you could, but that's a bit of a pain in the butt to do. So, I tagged them in our tweet today. There are a couple ways to do this. So this is Osmosis. This is the main DEX in the Cosmos IBC universe of blockchains. The best way to go about this, if you have native USDC and you want to go back to an Ethereum blockchain, is to use Squid Router. Squid Router is a fantastic project from Axelar. They're a messaging protocol just like Layer Zero, and to me, Squid Router is the MVP of 2023 for me. When we were doing the stuff for Mantle for Merchant Mo, it was so much easier for me to get Mantle on my account from anywhere than actually going through their actual bridge, because you could do the gas back portion on Trader Joe's bridge, but they only gave you 0.02 MNT, which was actually not even good for one transaction. So ultimately, Squid Router is a cross-chain swap, if you want to call it that. It's also a bridge. But all you have to do is use Squid Router. Go to squidrouter.com or app.squidrouter.com. Come up here. You get to choose your blockchain, and they support EVM as well as Cosmos. In this case, you would just come here, type in Osmosis, which I already have here. I'm clicking on the wrong window. That's why I'm all wrong. And then you would choose your asset. Now, in this case, you want to use USD. When you see USDC here, this is native USDC from Circle. They do have a wrapped version in Cosmos that's done from Axelar. It's called Axelar USDC, which is AXL USDC. But you want native USDC, which this is here on my Osmosis account. And then I need to send it to my EVM account. This is to my Rabby wallet right here. That's the address that I have here. I'll just connect. You just connect both of them. And then I want to send it to Arbitrum and take it as native USDC. Then all you have to do is click on how much you want to send. It gives you a quick estimation on how long that's going to take. It's normally less than, if you're doing less than 10K, it's actually less than a minute, depending on how things are going. So you can see there's a little bit of slippage. Yucky. Maybe USDC is a little bit better. USDC.E, which is the bridged version. Not that great. Okay, well, a little bit of slippage, a little bit of price action today. Oh, that's because of the fee. I'm always trying to figure out, well, what's the reason why? It's the fee. So that is the reason why you're not getting a perfect one-to-one, is because the bridge is charging roughly about $1 fee to do that. But this is the easiest way to do. My goodness, 2.45 an Axon fee. Anyway, it's roughly less than a minute to get there. This is by far the easiest way to get money from Osmosis to an EVM chain. And the absolute opposite is absolutely true. So if I wanted to go from Arbitrum to Cosmos, so I can play around on Osmosis or any of these other blockchains that are Cosmos based, like Celestia, Injective, Kujira, you can easily get there from Squid Router using this. Like, for example, if you're going from Base, if you're going from, I think I'm on Base here now. Yeah, I'm on Base. So I'd go from Base to Osmosis using, native USDC or whatever I wanted to use. That's how you do it. So hopefully that answers your question, Kathy. I know you said you spent quite a bit of time trying to figure this out, but Squid Router is the MVP. Easily, if you're trying to go from any EVM chain, even within EVM, use a cross-chain swap. I love using Axelar's stuff. Met them last year at ETHDenver. Looking to have good talks with them when I see them at Denver next week. And yeah, that's how you would solve this issue in terms of getting your money from Osmosis or Cosmos back to an EVM chain. Okay, and hopefully you found that helpful, guys, here in the chat. Again, feel free to join our new group, School. If you're looking for a free option, learn more about what we do here in the Beacon Mastermind, and just get some great examples, some great coaching. This is us sharing our knowledge with you as much as we can, and helping with our goal of being the premium education brand here in the DeFi space. Any thoughts, Andrew, before we go home?
I got a couple. First, I love the user experience on Squid Router. I've been using it for the chains that call for that. That fee did look a little pricey. I'm guessing there's a flat fee in there because when I was bridging last week, it seemed quite reasonable.
Yeah, it's normally not that bad. So I don't know what's going on, but price of doing business sometimes.
So I am really excited for this new little group on School, because we are now in the time, and this is a little bit of a meme, but right, we're in the time that's going to bring the next billion users into DeFi. And that's good for all of us. That's good for all of us, and it's good for them because they're going to benefit from some of these products. And it's important that there's real information out there for folks to find. So I'm really excited to put more out into the world. There are some things that we simply can't share with everyone, but there's a lot of things that we can. And School's a really innovative platform with good discoverability, and really good features for folks that are just coming into the space for the first time. So I'm stoked. I'm hyped.
Same here. We won't be having this call next week, just so you guys know, just because we'll be in Denver. We'll try and put a bunch of ad hoc content out, here on our YouTube channel or on School or in our mastermind. So just wanted to of course, give a shout out to our mastermind members and our founding members. We love you guys. Couldn't do any of this without you guys. And yeah, if you want to see more, obviously join the school group. You'll see me on Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern for our weekly training, where we'll go over something like this going on in DeFi. Feel free to let me know. It'll be our 13th training since Black Friday. And all of those trainings will be up on the school site as of today. So, Andrew, have a good time out there in Denver. Look forward to seeing you next week. And until then, keep winning, keep beating the banks. Enjoy that TVL, guys.
See you in a couple days, Chris. See you in a couple days.
Beacons up. Beacons up, banks down. See y'all later. 07.